World War II was won with bullets, bombs, and blood, but some battles were won with paint, rubber, and sound effects. This is the story of the army that never existed, and how it fooled one of the deadliest forces in history. In 1944, as Allied forces prepared to invade Europe, deception became critical. The U.S. Army created the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, a classified unit made up of artists, architects, sound engineers, and stage designers. Not soldiers, illusionists. Their mission was tactical deception, to mislead the German army about the size and location of Allied units. They were a traveling roadshow of war, using creativity as their primary weapon. Recruited from art schools, advertising agencies, and theaters, these men were selected for their ability to think outside the box. They were tasked with creating illusions on a massive scale, turning empty fields into bustling military encampments overnight. The concept was radical, a unit that fought not with firepower, but with imagination. Their most famous weapon was inflatable equipment. Tanks, artillery, trucks, all fake. These rubber decoys, weighing only 90 pounds, could be inflated in minutes. From a distance, and especially from the air, they looked completely real, casting authentic shadows and mimicking the appearance of a heavily armed division. 4 men could lift a 40-ton Sherman tank and reposition it, creating the illusion of a mobile armored unit. They didn't just place them randomly. They followed detailed layouts to simulate realistic parking arrangements, even adding fake tracks with special rollers to complete the deception. Another weapon was sound. Giant speakers mounted on half-tracks played recorded noises of troop movement, engines, and construction. This was sonic warfare. Sound engineers had traveled to Fort Knox to record the distinct sounds of armored and infantry units, from the clatter of tank treads to the shouts of soldiers during assembly. At night, these sound trucks would roll near the front lines, broadcasting their audio illusions across miles of countryside. German scouts listening in the darkness would report back the presence of a massive force preparing to attack, an army that wasn't there. The recordings were meticulously edited to mimic the sounds of a division on the move, creating an auditory mirage that was just as convincing as the visual one. But the performance didn't stop there. The Ghost Army also specialized in visual deception on a human scale. Soldiers from the unit, known as spoofers, would don the insignias of other real divisions. They would drive into nearby towns in jeeps marked with these fake unit patches and spread false rumors in cafes and bars, knowing that German spies were likely listening. They created fake radio traffic, broadcasting carefully scripted, misleading messages for enemy intelligence to intercept. Even laundry lines were staged with specific uniforms to suggest the presence of a particular type of unit, and field kitchens were set up to create the smells of a large encampment. Every detail was part of the show, a multi-sensory deception designed to be utterly convincing. The Ghost Army didn't just trick soldiers on the front lines. They tricked German intelligence analysts studying maps, photos, and radio chatter from miles away. The combination of visual, sonic, and radio deception painted a detailed but false picture of Allied intentions. Reconnaissance pilots flying over the inflatable armies would report back the existence of huge armored columns. Radio intercepts would confirm troop movements that were only happening on a record player. The result was chaos and confusion within the German high command. Entire German divisions were repositioned to counter threats that were nothing more than air and sound. They were sent chasing ghosts, moving away from the real Allied forces and leaving critical sections of the front line vulnerable. In one of their most famous operations, Operation Viersen, they drew an entire German division away from the Rhine River, allowing the U.S. Ninth Army to cross with minimal casualties. The Ghost Army was playing chess with the Wehrmacht and winning. The stakes were fatal. This wasn't a play with a curtain call. It was war. If the deception failed, the Ghost Army with its small numbers and light armament, would be overrun and annihilated. They were often positioned dangerously close to the front lines, sometimes just a few hundred yards from the enemy. They carried real weapons, but their survival depended on the lie holding. The tension was immense. A stray artillery shell could puncture a whole row of rubber tanks, exposing the ruse in an instant. A German patrol stumbling upon a sound truck could unravel the entire operation. One mistake, one slip-up, one soldier saying the wrong thing in town meant death. They were actors on the most dangerous stage in the world, where a bad performance meant a massacre. After the war, the Ghost Army was classified. Their story was locked away. For over 50 years, the men who served in this unique unit couldn't tell anyone what they did. Their families, their friends, and their country knew nothing of their contribution. They were bound by an oath of secrecy, their incredible accomplishments erased from the official histories of the war. While other veterans were celebrated, they had to remain silent about their role in saving an estimated 30,000 lives. Their victory remained invisible, a phantom success for a phantom army. The very tools and techniques they used were deemed too valuable to be made public, a strategic advantage to be kept in reserve for future conflicts. The documents were sealed, the files were redacted, and the aging veterans carried their secret alone. Today, military deception, or mildic, is standard doctrine in armies across the globe. The use of decoys, electronic warfare, and psychological operations is a fundamental part of modern military strategy. But it began with artists who turned war into theater. It began with a small group of creative minds who were asked to fight a war in the most unconventional way imaginable. They proved that a well-crafted illusion could be as powerful as an artillery barrage. Their legacy is not just in the battles they influenced, but in the paradigm shift they created. They saved thousands of lives without firing a shot, proving that sometimes the most potent weapon is the human imagination. And if lies can win wars, what battles are being fought with illusion today?